live and local with coverage you can count on. This is WNEMTV5 News at 10.
All of mid-Michigan getting hit hard with ice, rain, and snowstorms, causing power outages, road closures, and several local businesses and organizations to close up shop this weekend.
Now taking a live look outside at an ice-covered downtown Saginaw and Bay City as the first Warn 5 radar shows this wintry mix that will continue to hit us into our Sunday morning.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Blake Keller.
And I'm Kylee Miller. Most of mid-Michigan tonight is under some type of weather warning as temperatures continue to drop.
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to kick off tonight's team coverage of the winter storm with Chief Meteorologist Brian Bachman. And Brian, it's been a messy one out there.
It certainly has, Blake and Kylie, to put it very lightly. Everything from flooding rains last night, lakeshore flooding backing in along the Saginaw River, and of course then the wintry side of things with the snow, sleet, and freezing rain that has led to some pretty significant icing around most of mid-Michigan. Now, I'll start you off with another look outside over downtown Flint tonight, where you primarily started in the rain category around the region earlier on today. It took a little bit longer for the wintry precipitation to reach you, but if you look along the bricks there tonight, you can see we have some pretty well-worn tracks there now, indicating that at least some sleet is beginning to accumulate there. Not enough cold air in place for you to completely transition over into the snow category there just yet, but as we see on the first Warn 5 pinpoint Doppler radar here tonight, live from MBS, we're getting another little break in the action here. And don't be fooled, even though a lot of what you're seeing here over, say, Bad Axe to Caro in toward the Tri-Cities is being indicated as snow, the problem here is that a lot of the sleet pellets that are mixed in here in a lot of these areas, they are so small that the radar essentially thinks that they're snowflakes. So there is some mixing, at least with some sleet in and around the Tri-Cities, again, toward those same areas of the northern thumb. More of a lean into sleet and freezing rain as we approach the I-69 corridor, and more of a lean into plain snow as we look farther to the north and west. And while we are getting another little break in the action here, there's going to be one final push of steadier and heavier precipitation rolling in with the main area of low pressure as it emerges from central Indiana tonight that will reignite a lot of the freezing rain and sleet concerns, Tri-Cities on south and east, and enhance some of the expected snowfall amounts over the next several hours. Winds remaining a big factor here tonight. Northeast sustained at about 15 to as much as 30 miles per hour in many locations. We're gusting frequently in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range in a lot of locations. And that, of course, is a big contributor to the lakeshore flooding and even Saginaw River flooding that we are seeing in parts of the area. Temperatures starting to cool quickly down into the low 20s and even teens north and west. We have more middle to upper 20s, if not low 30s, along I-69. So still a winter storm warning in effect for our northern and western counties until 7 a.m. Ice storm warning for the expected final push of freezing rain. Tri-Cities, Flint area, I-69, as well as the northern thumb until 7 a.m. and also the lakeshore flood warning that remains in effect for all of our Lake Huron shoreline counties until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now, of course, it's been no secret. We've seen a multitude of precipitation types with this particular system. Here to explain more on exactly why we're seeing this, here's meteorologist John Gross. John?
Thank you much, Brian. And yes, we're continuing to monitor this system as it moves throughout the region overnight tonight and finally beginning to wrap up into your Sunday morning. But we have seen all different types of wintry precipitation. It is because of our temperature dependency right at that 32-degree mark. So I kind of want to go over just a few of the different types here. We've kind of been stressing this all day today, where we have warm air throughout the column. That's where we have rain, cold air, snow. But where we get some of that warmer air mixed in with the cold, that's where we have the freezing rain, which is the most potent. And then that sleet as well. And we'll continue to see this wintry precipitation going in throughout the rest of tonight into tomorrow morning. Now go ahead and look at a few of those viewer photos for today, Carla, seeing some of that snow and sleet out in Saginaw, right there on the grassy surfaces as well. And we've also been seeing a good side of flooding from Cecile in Flint. We'll go ahead and take a look at more of this storm as we go into the rest of the show. Blake.
All right, John, thank you so much. Here's a live look now at the consumer outage map as more than 1,000 customers across mid-Michigan are still without power at this time. Power is expected to be back on early Sunday morning or afternoon. Over in the thumb, DTE reporting over 1,500 outages. Now, the wind, rain, and a wintry mix caused a lot of problems for anyone hitting the roads tonight in mid-Michigan. As TV5's Jonathan Jackson reports, one driver even got stranded in Genesee County.
Just slow down. That's all I can say is slow down.
Here in Genesee County, tow truck drivers like Philip Borum are working overtime. And it's all because of this weekend's weather, leaving streets like Linden Road flooded. underneath the I-69 overpass.
And as you can see, several cars here have been told to avoid the area, and one car, in fact, got stuck out here for over an hour and a half.
I was coming through there. I was behind a semi, following him. I didn't see the water out here at all.
That's Tom Nimmers from Swartz Creek, who says he had no idea this street was even flooded until it was too late. Stranded and with nowhere to go, he tried calling for help.
The first people I called, they thought I was in Clinton Township for some reason, so I was like 50 miles from here.
That's when Borum and his crew showed up, telling me that this was their 5th tow of the day, and they still had more to go.
From Swartz Creek to Davidson to Flint, all over the area.
However, it's thanks to them that Nimmers and his car were out in one piece, and Borum hopes others don't take that risk in these flooded streets.
It may look shallow, but cars got wheels. They don't have propellers. Go around.
In Genesee County, Jonathan Jackson, WNEMTV5.
Jonathan, thank you. Weather conditions have varied in Genesee County. The county has seen less of a snowy mix and has rather been pelted with precipitation. TV5's David Custer has an update on those conditions in the southern half of the county.
Hi there, I am in southern Genesee County where it seems to be that we are in a little bit of a lull right now. The rain has been coming down heavy all day long. You can actually see I'm standing in a giant puddle of water in a yard. This seems to be the case all over Genesee County as people are dealing with flooded yards as well as the roadways in front of their homes. As you can see right here, this drain apparently backed up, so that is a big concern, all of the water as the temperature continues to drop. There's a thin coat of ice on sidewalks, porches, on people's vehicles, but so far not a lot of ice. The wind has been blowing strong all day long. Siding has come off some houses. Tree branches fortunately are not flying around or in people's yards. But the big concern is with all the water is if the ice accumulates on any of these trees or on these larger branches that they will come down. Again, folks are dealing with a lot of water in their yards, in the roadways in front of their homes, and many folks from what we are seeing are staying inside. They are hunkered down and they're going to ride out this storm. Those are the latest conditions down here in Fenton. I'm David Custer. Back to you.
Thank you very much, David, for that report. After starting the new year, we have not had much winter weather, but that changed today. Saginaw was one of many locations to get a major impact from the storm. This is how the county looked earlier today.
This weekend, mid-Michigan has been dealing with rain, snow, sleet, and freezing rain. For the Tri-Cities region, freezing rain and sleet so far have been the biggest threat during the afternoon hours. I traveled around Saginaw County to check out river levels and how local businesses were impacted by this storm system. First, I stopped by Ojibway Island to check out the Saginaw River. The Saginaw River is under a flood warning. Earlier today, the Saginaw River was at 17.5 feet. Flood stage is at 17 feet. This river is expected to crest Monday at 18.9 feet. You can see the water is starting to rise and overflowing its banks. With all the flood concerns happening across the region, remember, if you ever see a road that is submerged by water, turn around, don't drown. You never know what conditions of the road is beneath all the water, and it could possibly have a strong current too. Next stop was in Old Town Saginaw to check out how local businesses were impacted from the ice storm. And we made a stop at the Bread Guy.
Business started out kind of slow. I think people were a little timid, just, whether the roads were going to be safe or not. And then we started to pick up right around noon.
Mitch has not only been working in the shop, but he's also keeping everyone safe, shoveling and salting the sidewalk.
We threw salt twice, and we've had to shovel twice as well.
However, this winter weather has not stopped everyone from traveling in these types of weather conditions. But if you do leave, make sure to be safe. Reporting from Saginaw, meteorologist Kylee Miller, WNEMTV5.
And high water levels near the Saginaw Bay, flooding Bay City's Veterans Park. And over the last few days, Lakeshore communities prepared for the storm currently hitting us. And now those plans are being put into action. I was in Bay County as residents were protecting their property near the Cucaulin River.
Say the prep's been done. Now now it's goodness. I hope that we did enough, and unfortunately there's not a lot you can do right now except pray and hope for the very best.
In Bangor Township, residents are hunkering down as a winter storm mix nails mid-Michigan.
The temperature is dropping, ice is falling. It is just not good to be out and about. Stay home if you can.
Glenn Rowley, supervisor for the township, who also lives along the Kylee River, spent the past few days prepping for the storm.
Just do the best you can to protect your property and your well-being. So the sandbags, yeah, I put some out myself.
We're along the Kylee River, and a lot of residents here tell us that overnight into the early morning hours, the water levels were so high, it was flowing onto their property. The levels have gone down since, just a few inches, but they say that can all change when the weather changes.
Even though the peril will subside and it will seem a little bit better, there's still going to be an awful lot of ugly out there.
Raleigh says while most people are prepared, if the storm gets worse, they'll have to consider evacuations, which could prove to be problematic.
I really hope that is not the case today, because with the terrible, almost impassable driving conditions that we're expecting will make doing that very, very difficult.
Raleigh adds that if you find yourself in a tough situation, it may be time to reach out.
This will be a perfect time for friends and neighbors, helping friends and neighbors.
And keep track of the weather in your community with the TV5 mobile app. Download it for free in the App Store and on Google Play. And developing tonight, a woman left in critical condition after an early morning car crash. Flint police say Denisha Simmons was at a stop sign at the intersection of West 10th Street and South Saginaw Street. As Simmons entered the intersection, she was struck by another vehicle on the driver's side. It's unclear if alcohol or speed factored into this crash. That investigation is still underway.
And Buena Vista police are investigating a shooting that happened around 4 this afternoon at 3700 block of Dixie Highway. At this time, little information has been released. Stay with TV5 for updates. Well, 6-year-old receives a hero's welcome and a special surprise after he beat a rare form of cancer. Still ahead, his amazing reaction in tonight's Can't Miss Moment. Plus, remember, for breaking news and weather any hour of the day, like us on Facebook. Yeah, and start your Sunday mornings the right way with a cup of coffee and TV5 Wake Up. Get caught up on all the news you missed overnight starting at 7 a.m.